This is the Kind of Vague Radio podcast. We are here with Huston Sonhouse.
Cool. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah,
Hello,
I
Huston.
am Andrew.
I'm Rob.
And we are, I think the last time we had you on, you were actually the first guest we
He was
ever
the first.
had on.
We used to have a show on Denver Open Media, and you were the very first guest we had, man.
Yeah, I was very, very honored to be the first guest. Always good to be a guinea pig.
You're going to be again, because
Yeah.
we're transitioning to this podcast format.
So
and,
we will dub you the very first guest again on, on
right,
the newly
because
formed.
we haven't, the radio show hasn't been picked up yet, so I could re-edit Pawn Shop to be the second. No offense, Pawn Shop boys, but I think they'll be cool with it.
Love those guys. So listen to the next episode for Pawn Shop. How are you doing? I haven't seen you in months.
Yeah. I'm doing well. Doing very, very well. You know, coming here, see some family, play a show, so it's always good. See you guys, see some friends, nothing.
You moved to Austin, Texas?
Yeah, I'm actually right in between Austin and San Antonio now.
Oh, right on. I got a lot of
Yeah.
family
Very
out in
cool.
San Antonio. You
Yeah.
got to come see our show out in Austin.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, let me know when it is, and I'll be there.
So how's Texas treating you?
It's good. There's a lot of emphasis on kind of what I do. Lots of like singer-songwriter stuff, especially in the hill country in between Austin, San Antonio. There's tons of singer-songwriter
You fit
guys.
in.
So yeah, I fit in, and then there's everyone's kind of reopening stuff. Like people are still trying to get back at it after COVID, but there's a lot of places that are getting back to it and reopening or starting out that have an emphasis on live music.
Right on. That's really
So,
encouraging to hear.
Yeah, that's really nice to have where they want the live music aspect. They want people there playing. They want and people want to be there listening to music.
I feel like
so.
pre-COVID, there was this emphasis on the jukeboxes
Yeah.
and DJs.
Mhm.
And I'm really glad to see, more and more places that we go and play and visit. Small cities, from small cities, big cities, towns, tributaries. Well, like they all have this emphasis of like, okay, we're opening a restaurant. We need live music,
Mhm. Yeah, that's exactly how it is. And they have stages set up. They have all the sound system. A lot of them will have their own sound guys there.
Nice.
So that's
a
where it's like
rarity
you're
there.
kind of out in the middle of nowhere, and they still have a sound guy, and you're like, oh, this is fantastic. Like,
So really, the thing I want to ask is, compared to Colorado, are you?
you can't compare the two.
Well, how are the audiences the same, more receptive to you in Texas than they were out here? Less so, mixed bag. What?
I think it depends on where you're playing. I feel like what the type of music I play lends itself more to the scenes that are in Texas or in the hill country area, sort of like off of country, blues, rock and roll, that really like that sort of stuff, where I feel like there is a big emphasis on metal and indie stuff here.
Yes.
which
We're
I
trying
don't
to
really-
change that, but
which I don't really do metal or indie, which
Right.
Neither
Of course,
do
we're
we.
kind of an indie show,
Yeah.
well, we don't do metal here. We
Yeah.
don't do country. We don't do rap.
yeah.
right.
We
Well-
do spoken words. We will do
Yeah.
harder music, but
Well, but again, because we are very independently focused, which means you have to pay due to the singer-songwriter with the guitar, because that's, let's be honest, if you excluded them, you'd be excluding a lot of just independent, because what does it take? It takes a lot to get a band together. It takes a lot to do a recording, but what you can do is grab a guitar and make a pretty good recording of just you singing a song at a guitar if you practice those crafts, at least,
And it's not only hard to get them together, it's hard to keep them together, too. Like,
Yeah.
There's been, you see it all the time with bands that get together. They're together for, not even a year, and then all of a sudden you're like, what happened to these guys? They were awesome. And you're like, oh, they're gone now. Or you see someone,
drummer's really into heroin now.
Yeah,
Sorry.
exactly. They're all in different bands, and you're like, what happened to this project?
We've said this. I've said it very explicitly to both Pat and Andrew. It's like half of the recipe for success is longevity. It is. You see that in bands all the time.
Yeah.
And I think it's because of what you say. You can't. It's a very slow thing to get to like and learn a band, and so like it sucks if like, oh yeah, now I'm starting to get into them. Oh, they broke up.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
the ones that are very popular, the ones that stay together and they're there for the audience when they discover you.
Yeah.
Yeah, where there's like the two thing where it's like two sayings of like it takes 10 years to become an overnight sensation.
Yeah,
and then
right.
it also it's like people don't fail, they quit kind of thing.
Right,
like,
right.
You know, it's like,
Yeah, all very true platitudes. And I think the
No.
singer-songwriter then is the epitome of independent artist. Literally,
yeah.
it's just you independently bringing music, your voice, bringing this whole style together.
And I know that you do work with a loop pedal. I want to get you into a song here, pretty soon. But I am actually kind of psyched to see you just raw like this without some of those toys.
oh yeah, yeah, and I try to do both. I try to keep everything even across the board. Like some of the bigger shows and stuff, I'll do loop pedals. Sometimes I'll play with other people, and then it's always nice to play like the coffee shop settings, quote unquote, where you're kind of just playing for a couple people in a room on a stool, and that's it. And it's
Kind of like right now.
exactly, you know. And
Couple
it's
of
like
guys
you
on
can
a
actually-
stool.
I tell you
yeah.
what, why don't you give us a song? I got to get myself a beer. I can't believe we started this podcast.
You
without
want a beer?
You got a beer? Do you
I
need a
do.
beer? Do you need a beer, Huston?
I'm good, thank you. Though. I
Okay.
appreciate it.
You
Okay.
got Rolling Rock, Guinness.
That's the worst beer. Don't bring Rolling Rock.
I'm just saying, we do have it in there.
I know.
We're not
Against-
advertising
against-
Rolling Rock.
against-
It
our
is.
better
It
judgment.
is available.
It is available. I mean, some
Um,
people dig on it. I mean,
What-
they really dig it.
What's the first song you're going to lay on us, man?
You guys want to hear something new?
Absolutely. Let's
Yeah.
do it.
All right, I'll play a song called "Take It All."
Okay.
So. I see you crying in the morning. Shame you're waking up this way. I see you crying in the evening. You're thinking that there's no escape. Oh, you're not alone. Break down if you need to, darling. I'll never let you fall. Break down if you need to, darling. And I'll take it all. I'll take it all. I see you pacing round the bedroom. I watch you fighting for your life. Oh, I can reach to pull you close, dear. If you make it through the night. Oh, you're not alone. Break down if you need to, darling. I'll never let you fall. Break down if you need to, darling. And I'll take it all. And I don't know if I can help you. Oh Lord, I'll try. I don't know if I can help you. You'll have me till I die. Yeah, you'll have me till I die. Break down if you need to, darling. I'll never let you fall. Break down if you need to, darling. And I'll take it all. I'll take it
Is that going to be on the an upcoming?
Yeah, so I'm actually about to put out a new album.
That's what you said on the email.
Yeah, a couple weeks.
You're pretty prolific. It wasn't that long when you the Forbidden Fruit.
Yeah, it was about a year ago, a little bit over a year that I put that out, and then started recording this one. Should have had this one out like months ago, honestly, as it goes, and then got started procrastinating, and I wrote basically like another album as well. So I might try to write I might try to put out 2 this year.
All right.
But my whole goal recently,
King Gizzard and the Houston Sonhouse.
yeah, exactly. Trying to put out as much as I could. Like I was trying to shoot for like 1 a year, kind of thing.
Wow, that's ambitious.
Which is hard because, as you guys know, you maybe put like half of the songs you write, if that, on. So like half the songs you write, if like maybe a quarter of the songs you write actually end up being something you want to play, I feel like, or at least like for me, I like have all these ideas and then I like write a song and then a week later I'm like, I can't ever.
I think that's a little
play
different.
That again.
That's being a solo artist versus a band. You know, both Andrew and I think he spoke. You got a couple things you wanted to bring into Circle, as he said recently, but when you have a band, you kind of incubate it yourself for a bit before that even happens. So
I have 162 recordings
out before you get to that point.
Exactly.
I have 162 recordings I've made on my phone just this year of like new ideas that haven't quite fleshed out yet. Yeah. But that are in this kind of work. And you're right. Maybe a quarter of those will actually go to the band.
Yeah. If you're lucky, I feel like that's a good. I'm being like pretty liberal, saying a quarter of it, is going. It's probably way less than that.
I feel very strong about just recording every good idea that comes to mind when it happens. Just throw it down there. It may be useful at some point, and maybe it was just worth listening to at some point and give me a better idea for something else. But
and sometimes I feel like just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks, and that's kind of what you have to do.
It really is.
And then you just hope for the best at that point and go from there.
I don't think artists are just like, I sit down and then I write the masterpiece and then I go back.
We don't usually have like the Dolly Parton day where you write Jolene.
The Dolly Parton day.
Even with her, she sat down with it. I'm sure it didn't sound like Jolene. Right off the bat.
She probably had those chord progressions at least running.
And she had some of the lyrics. Maybe she didn't have quite the melody the way she wanted. I mean, there's a lot more that goes into songwriting than just like lyrics, chords. You're like, okay, how does it build? How does it come back down?
It's really this one's totally not as famous as the Jolie story, but there's the song. Actually, it because I cover it. It's one of the songs that I cover. It's a song called "Tomorrow" by a Britpop band called James.
Oh yeah,
and what that song came from is pretty amazing. They did an improv session, just a whole improv session, and it's on. They recorded it, and it's called the Wawa or something like that. The name of the album, and they just literally decided we're going to improv front to back, and that song came out of the improv session. And then eventually made it was the lead-off track on like their next actual LP or maybe 2 LPs down. Yeah. But the fucking crazy thing is it barely changed one iota. The thing that sprung to life right then and there was like the verse, the chorus. Like it was almost like it hardly changed at all. And I thought that's incredible. Like that's spontaneous song right there.
Yeah. And sometimes those are like the most popular ones. I just heard about that for Black Sabbath's Paranoid, that they needed an extra song. They were short time-wise on an album. We're like, we just need an extra song, whatever it is. So, and then like Tony Iommi put down a chord progression. I think the bass wrote the lyrics, and then Ozzy just sung them, and that was Paranoid. And they were like, oh, you should name the album after that song. And that was their biggest hit. They were like, we just that's our throwaway song.
It's so weird how artists I always think about in film. I really like the films of Francis Ford Coppola, as most people do, right? But if you look at what he did, all of his best movies were done under stress, budgetary constraints, all this shit.
Short time,
and then the movies where he's been given the budget and the time to work, not his best
good
stuff. How weird is fucking that?
I think art comes from that. I've always thought that art comes from. That compression of life and duty and deadlines and friction. That's what it comes out from that. Yeah, when you have too much time, it's like, now I can edit this forever. I mean, you're talking about the procrastination of an album. Like, I could sit there for months being like, let's go over that drum track one more time.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, my God. And unless you have a straight deadline, it's like, look, it's due next week. Right. You start making real decisions. You know, cool. All right, that's fine. That's good. Yeah. Let's tighten this up. I don't like that. Let's take it out.
The Beatles had to crank out albums, and they would have literally songwriting sessions because, well, we need an LP. You know?
Yeah.
Like, imagine that. Like, you just like, oh, I need to go do work. And then you go and, you know, Good Day Sunshine comes out of today's work. You're like,
absolutely.
Good day's work, boys. You know? Crazy. But and they wrote it they wrote it why? Because they needed it for that LP. It was due out like in a month.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That definitely happens with everything that I work on. I feel like I tried to have a song on there and then like you record it or something and it doesn't quite work with how you want it to be. That actually happened with the opening like intro track for my last album. It was like there was like 3 different versions of it, and then the last one, it was like very close to how it was supposed to get out, and we're like, I needed to rewrite everything. We just kind of like threw something together in a day and was like, perfect. That's exactly what it needs to be, and I thought it was way better than everything else I was doing. It's just like an intro kind of thing.
That's crazy, man.
We had a problem with that on the EP we just released for Circles with Rescue Me. I had this idea of the way it was supposed to be. It was the last song I think we ended up completing, and it was just like, okay, it doesn't sound right. Like, what do we got to do? So we just kind of stripped it away. We're like, okay, let's just add it the way we think it should go. And I think doing it that way really quickly helped the overall sound of it sound better. You're like, okay, we're not overthinking it. It's kind of what I want. Let's just go for that. And then build everything around that.
Well, you're one of my favorite creative people. You can't go a podcast without me bringing up David Lynch, right? But I have to mention because it's like, that's what he says. Be open to the happy accidents. If you're open to the happy accidents, that's when your art is really going to shine through. It's like, oh, that didn't work out how I had planned. Wait, how did that go? Sometimes that accident makes it even better.
Yeah, and I think it also makes it feel human. There's a lot of... which I feel like a lot of music is going back to that. A lot of modern artists are going back to this idea of like, maybe we should leave these mistakes and maybe it shouldn't be perfectly in tune all the time.
Well, maybe I feel like we had a
my personal
30
band
years
is built on that Pine Tree Janitorial Service. It's like our mission statement.
Yeah.
We've had 30 years of like absolutely overproduced music in the industry, and there's no that's exactly the reason why artists like Olivia Rodrigo get so big, is because the industry was like, look, people don't want all of that. They want to hear somebody who sounds honest, a recording that sounds honest, even if it is all still industry manufactured. They're trying to emulate after these smaller ideas.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's something that's really cool, that independent artists are having that kind of effect on the larger music scene.
Yeah, and it's also just really strange. Well, hopefully it's moving away from that more, but you'd hear these huge, like, classically trained singers, and their voices would be auto-tuned, and you'd be like, obviously this person can hit these notes, like, they're close enough. It's like, why is this, like, moved to perfect?
Yeah.
Like, it just sounds strange now, because we know that that's auto-tuned, but also, like, this is a famous operatic singer.
And pitch is a weird thing, because again, perfection is less than ideal. It's weird, Yeah. Everyone knows that's what the whole concept of vibrato is kind of built on. That obviously, it's just like, if you just have a note, even if you're hitting it perfectly, that's not satisfying. Sliding into it, above it, wavering in it, all that stuff is way more entertaining to listen to.
Yeah, I just watched a breakdown of Judy Garland singing "Somewhere Over the Rainbow," the original recording, and then Kelly Clarkson doing the same thing. And the engineer was basically pointing out, like, look, this is her voice, and this is where it's being, like, compressed and auto-tuned to, like, hit exactly. And then he puts Judy Garland's, like, this is her, raw, no auto-tune or anything. And he's like, look, you can hear them both. They're both good performances, but hers is so much better. And the reason why we'll never have this again is because we insist on compressing and auto-tuning the notes, where you can see clearly that she doesn't need it, and it sounds better. Tonally, you're hitting more frequencies with your voice that way. It's blending more to people that way.
Yeah. Well, it seems like a lot of people in the last little bit were mixing and mastering music with their eyes and not their ears. Like,
so you could see that whole solid block.
Exactly.
That's
it's
hilarious.
So they were mixing things. They were like looking at drum grooves, and they were like, "Oh, that isn't lining up perfectly with the grid, and you're like, yeah, but it had this feel
There's
to it that was awesome.
That's true.
And it was like all the James Brown stuff is like wildly all over the place, but it's like because they're like in the pocket with each other and they're like grooving, they're like going over bar lines and stuff because it feels good. Like it was like this like funk, like it was funk, you know, it was like this soul to it that felt good. And like
it's a very good point. I think like maybe even our graphic digital audio workstations that have that waveform, it's really helpful. We can't deny it, but maybe there's something a little bit lost in forcing us to use our ears.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I always think about what some of the geniuses of the past, like what a George Martin or like a Brian Wilson would have been able to, or Stevie Wonder would have been able to do with like a Pro Tools or Logic. Now,
but maybe it's better that they didn't.
Yeah.
Brian Wilson with Pro Tools. Oh my God!
I mean, they
like,
did
that
such
would
great
just been
stuff,
insane. Like
they were so inventive because they didn't have those tools. And I think that's the fun part about it, right?
And it also makes them. It's like a mystique to it almost.
And you could really never replicate it because to get all those tracks, they would have to bounce and bounce and bounce, and things would get all muddied up. And it's interesting.
Yeah, it's an interesting like thought experiment almost. But
All right. Well, speaking of auto tune, what's another song you got for us? Not just
you guys want to keep hearing new stuff? Or?
Yeah, why not?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Cool. Yeah, that sounds good.
So this new album, is it going to be like you kind of had a full band arrangement in the last one? Right?
Yeah. So I tried to keep it more or less the same stuff throughout the songs, but it's drums, organ / electric piano,
all right,
guitar, lead guitar, and bass, and then vocals. It was usually like pretty much the through line of all of them. So kind of tried to keep it to like a 4 or 5 piece band. There's some slide stuff, but that would like be encompassed in the lead guitar, where it's like if there's slide guitar going on, there's not like lead guitar going on as well. So that takes that spot. So I tried to keep it as if it was to be played live, that it would be like a 4-person, 5-person band, depending on if I wanted to sing or play and sing or what.
Yeah,
so.
I always like the idea that like the album should sound way better than, well, not way better, but different than the live. I mean, you know, because live, anything can happen. You know, we never try to like verbatim any song ever off our albums. Well, we try to do it justice. But it's more like us covering us.
Yeah, I try to do it where it's as close to how I perform when I'm like looping stuff or when I'm playing with stuff, but at the same time I leave a lot of space in certain songs and where you can do improvisation things, where you could kind of journey off and do something else, where instead of it being like the 3-minute song that you would expect from like an edited song, you can be like, this would be a 6-minute song live. Yeah, exactly. We can explore on this a little bit.
I never think it's a good idea to limit yourself in the studio. You know what I mean? To go, like, there are bands that will be like, you know, well, we don't have a flugelhorn. We can't put a flugelhorn in here. We're like, I don't know. It sounds pretty dope, you know? Just like, take that Brian Wilson cue from Brian. Put the fucking flugelhorn in the thing, you know? Let your live show
we're
be
gonna
damned.
Strum the piano
let
chord,
your live show
piano
be damned.
strings, all right? Strum the piano. I don't care if we can do that live. We're gonna strum the piano.
Yeah, or just all the people where it's like you'll have 3 different guitars playing the same thing. And it's like you're not going to have 3 guitarists on stage playing the same thing to make it sound better.
Right.
But yeah, I think the idea of having a recorded track, especially a studio recorded track, is to make it like almost the best, like some like
exactly the best it could possibly
be. The best it could be, and then go from there. You know, so.
And then you're just covering it from there on out.
And then maybe you're just like trying to chase that sound afterwards. And I've done that where I've recorded songs and it completely changed how I played it live. And stuff,
absolutely. That happens often with us. Actually, what happens a lot to us is we'll record it and then we completely change it live, and then we're like, should we record that version now?
Yeah,
I've
that does happen.
definitely done that. You're like, oh man, I wish I would have thought of this part.
Yeah. There's something about letting songs breathe. We're never too quick to like put, that's a good song, let's get it on the tracks already.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
you're like, I think it's still got a little growing to do.
This is the song's called "Dancing in the Coals." This is one of the more rock and roll songs on the album. This is actually will be the opening track.
Oh, right on.
Burn all the men say you don't for good, but your words ain't half the word. As your lies hide behind your teeth. Whoa, you're dancing in the cold. Whoa, in the ashes of our own. You've been dancing in the cold, but you'll never live the only home you know. They made a promise, you ain't that honest, but you spend a yarn like a sailor on the sea. And all of your tall tales of all tales, you're gonna die with the story on your lips. Can't use tradition, crucifix or your superstition. Can't use religion to put out your fire. You're dancing in the cold. In the ashes of our own. You've been dancing in the cold, but you'll never leave it the only home you know. Yeah, you'll never leave it the only home you know. Yeah, you'll never leave it the only home you know. Yeah, you'll never leave it the only home you know. Yeah, you'll never leave it the only home you know.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, man. Now being moving away from Colorado and coming back, I understand what everyone was talking about like altitude. This is the first time in my life, the last time I came up here, that I actually felt what the altitude felt like to all the normal people from away from here.
Yeah.
You know, not these people who lived on the moon. Now I come back here and I'm like, oh man, I don't have these Colorado lungs anymore.
It's true.
Yeah.
You build up blood cells.
Yeah, it's why why they train Olympians out here.
Yep. Yeah, I've seen many act at Red Rocks that after their like second, third song go like, whoa,
Whoa.
boy, I was running around and jumping like I was in,
Yeah.
California, but this shit is not the same.
I like the adverse effect. I just went to California, and I just like drank the entire time I was there.
Right.
I never once felt like I was like tipsy, or definitely didn't get like drunk
Yeah.
there. Like,
That happens.
and I drank an irresponsible amount.
Yeah.
Like it was just like, why are you keep drinking? Because I don't feel anything.
For like
I
a
keep
week's
getting
Yeah, it
time.
doesn't do
If
anything
Yeah,
to you.
if you live out here, you got a week to be like a superhero at sea level.
Yeah.
You could drink a superhero amount of booze.
And I was
Yeah.
drinking liquor too, which is like two liquor drinks, and I'm like, okay, guys, I'm feeling it. I was like 4 deep, and I'm like, all right, I should slow down because it's 4, and I think that's what I'm supposed to do, but yeah, it doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, or the opposite happened to me last time I was playing a show here, and some guy kept on buying me drinks, and then, like later on, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot where I was for a second.
my brother-in-law used to live up in Leadville, which is like almost twice the elevation than up here. And I'd go up there and I'd have one beer and I'm like, why do I feel so tired? And it's so lethargic.
What
now.
are they putting in this?
Yeah, and he's like, oh, it's the altitude, man. I was like, I thought we were at altitude.
Oh, it's,
Cheers.
it is
drinking
real.
at altitude.
Drinking at altitude.
Well, do you miss Colorado at all?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, all right. That's what we want to hear.
Yeah, all my family.
Pandering, but that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, all my family's here. It's
Yeah.
beautiful here. You can't really beat the scenery of Colorado. Can't beat the mountains. Can't beat, there's so much to enjoy.
Fresh
about being
air,
here.
beautiful sunsets.
Yeah,
Nice.
exactly. Yeah, the fresh air,
My mic.
the smell of Colorado, the smell of it's like the smell of nature. I don't know.
Yes.
It's like what all of the laundry detergents are trying to capture in their scents, is the smell of Colorado.
Tell me, what does Texas smell like?
Yeah.
It
What's
smells
the-
like dust,
Dust.
it smells like heat.
Dust.
Well, let's flip the question. What are you enjoying about Texas? There's got to be some things you like. This is pretty
Oh
cool.
man, yeah.
Barbecue. Let's
yeah.
let's start with barbecue.
Barbecue is you can't really beat barbecue.
Answering that one for you.
Yeah. You have all the good Mexican food. You got great Mexican food here, but you're just
Yeah,
close. You're
you're
closer
closer
to
to the
Mexican
border,
food.
baby.
I know. What
Hey,
you mean.
you're closer to the source
The
down
rice
there.
and beans out there are superior,
Yeah.
mostly because you don't have the elevation messing with your cook times.
Yeah.
You're like at sea level, you're gonna cook some bomb rice and beans.
Yeah, no, that's one thing that being down there and you look up how to cook something and you're like, oh, I can follow this. correct,
I
actually,
could just follow the recipe.
I don't have to do
Not
any
the-
science,
yeah, 1
science
mile
class in
line.
here. But, yeah, all that. And the music scene down there is great. Like all the people you meet is just incredible. You meet all these people who've written for people or who've played with incredible acts, who've written for incredible acts, who are constantly in and back and forth from Nashville writing for people in studios and just like the stories you get to hear and the things like kind of how close to it. Well, we always joke about there's a local bar right down the street from where I live and you'll be hanging out there and be like drinking a beer, just like talking about like the game on or something, or like, just a beer you're drinking. And then someone will be like, oh, you know who that was? And you're like, no, we were just talking about like Coors. And he was like, oh yeah, that's like Alan Jackson's guitarist. And you're like, oh, we weren't talking music at all. Like I just thought that was like some mechanic down the street or
I
something.
bet it's nice for them to be like, okay, thank God somebody's not up my ass about. So have you known Alan Jackson long?
Yeah, exactly.
What's he like?
Yeah, there's just like all just like
that.
not that it has actually, but it's like there's a lot of people who played with Willie Nelson around,
Oh yeah,
and stuff.
It's like because he played with everybody.
yeah,
man.
so it's like you have all the people who played with those guys, like the Highwaymen and stuff. Like there's constantly guys where they're like, oh yeah, I was like the sound tour guy, like their tour sound guy, like traveled around with them. And you're like, well, like, what's
I
going
put
on
the
here?
tape
So-
on all the stages
Yeah.
for Rush in
Yeah,
'83.
Yeah, exactly. Like I did sound for Carlos Santana, like throughout this tour, and you're like, man, like how that's straight.
Like, that
You're
sounds
Yeah.
great. I have a show tomorrow. You
Yeah,
wanna come run
exactly.
sound for me?
You're like, yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah.
Like, well, yeah, and there's all the people because they have all the Austin City Limits guys are still
Yep.
all around and stuff. But there's just awesome stuff going on constantly, and the people that you get to see at like the coffee shop shows that I was saying, where they're like playing or like songwriter nights that people have, and they're playing songs, and you're like, oh, I know this song. Like, oh, this guy wrote this song. Like, oh, that's like,
Oh, wow.
I was like this guy. Like,
I
like,
wrote
he's a-
this for Ellen Trees.
Yeah, exactly. People were like wrote for like Reba McEntire, wrote for Merle Haggard and
This
Willie
was on
Nelson.
Miley Cyrus's fourth album.
Yeah, actually, a friend of mine that I've like become friends with in the last little bit, and they was talking about an album that he put out where he said it was his tribute album where he had all of his friends do songs of his. His name's Michael James, but he was like one of the songs I really liked on. And I was like, man, love that song. Love the guy who performed it too. I was like, it was a perfect match for him and stuff. And he was like, oh yeah, like that was the song that Merle and Willie recorded back in the day. It was just like, oh, I did not know that about. But so just stuff like that where you're like feel like you're in the presence of just greatness all the time. Oh, it's just
Yeah, that's gotta
it's just
be
like a
humbling.
strange. Yeah, it's a strange thing.
And
where you're, like,
encouraging too. I mean,
Yeah.
you're in the mix, and
Yeah,
your
you're, like,
music
out
isn't
there.
chasing them away. So
Yeah, you're out there, and then you get to learn from these people because all these people are just like have been there and done it and doing incredible things, still do incredible things, write incredible music, and you're like, if I could just like pick your brain for a second about how you like approach different things, what do you think about when you're going through some, like when you're playing live even, or when you're in the studio, what's your approach to those kind of things and stuff, and all of them, like luckily all these guys are these guys and girls are super cool. Like everyone out there is super cool, super humble. Like they're in it because they love it, kind of thing. Which I think that's always, we're not making tons of money doing this. We do it because we really like to do it.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to make money, go be a investment banker.
Software
exactly.
engineer.
Yeah.
I feel personally attacked. No, I see it. Now I forgot even what I was going to say. The attack has thrown me up. A little bit.
So Texas has been really fun for that. And all of my wife's family's out there too. So we
that's
have
good.
all of that.
And I see that you got a little one on the way.
Yeah, we do. So
when's that due date?
August.
All right, that's
19th. So
It'll be here before you know it.
Exactly. So and I just we're just hanging out with a friend, met his new one. So, but yeah, it was really fun. We're just like, man, all of us are having kids, and we all grow up so fast.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Well, I know I was going to ask you, what about some of those things that are happening on Texas, the big events, like either you mentioned Austin City Limits, and of course I got asked by South by. Have you looked into those, and how do you know how to breach those?
So,
I'm asking for a friend.
Well,
tell us how we get into that.
A lot of the stuff I've seen, well, obviously, if you're big, they'll ask you to come play. But like, you're on our a lot of those are like pay to play, which is
I did hear that.
Yeah,
I did hear that shady shit, man.
Yeah, so it's kind of unfortunate, and a lot of the people I know kind of avoid Austin around that time because it's just like they're like
it's a shit show.
Yeah, exactly. It's just so hectic and crazy that you're just like I'll stay home for the next little bit. But obviously it's like fun. Like Austin's a fun town. Like I think it has the reputation of being a fun town, and it does live up to the reputation. There's tons of stuff to do, tons of music going around. And all like the whole I-35 corridor between Austin and San Antonio. It's just like there's stuff going on constantly. There's tons of shows, tons of people playing there, tons of people coming there to play, and then all sorts of different types of music. Because what was surprising to me about San Antonio was very like heavy rock and roll stuff in San Antonio, which I didn't know anything about San Antonio. So I was like, it's probably more or less the same as Austin. Went down there, like they love rock and roll here. And I was like,
it is
great.
Straight rock.
So it's like you have all of that, and then you have all the blues and country stuff through the singer-songwriter stuff through, and then you have Austin, which does more which does all of that and more. It does all the pop stuff, does all the dance stuff, does all the soul, like funk stuff. There's all those sort of bands there too.
It's a college town amongst other things.
Yeah,
so
exactly. So you have one of the biggest college, like UT, there as well. Yeah. So that's going to bring in all these new people all the time that are going to be doing different things. So yeah, there's just tons of great stuff going on everywhere, and that's one of the best things about it. You're like just in the middle of this absurdity all the time, just people doing whatever they want, like musically and all this stuff. And then like the one different thing where it's like here we have Denver, and that's like there where it's like there you have in like San Antonio, Austin, you have Houston not too far away, Dallas, Fort Worth.
Fort Worth, we haven't even talked about Fort Worth. That's a big music scene too.
Yeah, exactly.
Where's Denton, Texas, anyway?
Where Denton's around the Dallas Fort Worth.
Dallas Fort Worth area. Because they have I know that they have I know Mid Lake is my jam.
Yeah,
but they have a great scene, right?
Yeah, and they have all sorts of, and that's all sorts of stuff goes out of there, and then you have all the stuff that comes out of like College Station, which is like A&M, I'm pretty sure. So like another college town, so you have all the colleges there, all the college places there. You have Lubbock, which is not really club, but like you have like Buddy Holly's from there, and Waylon Jennings, who isn't from Lubbock, but like was in Buddy Holly's band, so he was around that area. You have all of those guys, all of that culture, music history from Lubbock. So you go there, and everyone there is good at music. Like everyone there's writing incredible songs. You're like, how did this happen? And you're like, oh yeah, it's like all these awesome bands are from here.
They're still inspired by Buddy Holly after all these years.
Yeah, exactly. And
absolutely.
After all this time, Buddy's still inspiring.
Yeah, I mean, he invented the 3-piece, 4-piece band, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
and he, one little tidbit. I like this one. He's kind of the reason behind the Stratocaster's success. Leo had just invented that one. There was Tellys, and people weren't really too hip on it. And Buddy Holly got a Strat and played it on the air, And ever since that day, it's been like the hottest
He
guitar
looked
going.
good on it.
It's
Because
been
it's
the hardest
always
guitar
sounded
going.
good,
Yeah,
but
and then-
he looked good playing it, and it was like, oh, yeah, okay, that's rock and roll.
Yeah. Yeah, that rock and roll sound definitely went through all of the 60s, 70s. Had
Yeah,
that
because
Strat
hollow
sound,
bodies
like-
were kind of the it before that.
Mhm.
Even when he invented that Jazzmaster, and everyone was like, it's not a hollow body, though.
Yeah.
Where's the arch on this guy? He's like, no, it's the same thing. They're like, no, it's not.
Yeah, I feel like the Jazzmaster took a little bit longer to
Way longer. It
really
was till the
get it.
80s that
Yeah.
that like started catching on.
Yeah, then you had all the like punk grunge sort of stuff, like all.
Well, yeah,
because
because all those guitars were in pawn shops at that time.
Yeah.
And they were like the cheap pawn shop guitars because they were just, none of them
no
really
one
made
wanted
it.
Yeah, and now it's like Jazzmasters are one of the more popular guitars out there that everyone
I
plays.
play a Jazzmaster.
That's
I
his
love my
beloved
Jazzmaster.
guitar.
I have a Jazzmaster as well.
Yeah, I have
No-
a J Mascis, a 69, the reissue that
Nice.
they did with that. I mean,
That's
it's
awesome.
beautiful. It works exactly the way I want it.
Yeah,
I even played a jazz show last week with it, which
Nice.
is I was like, "You're finally home,
Yeah,
Jazzmaster.
exactly.
You're finally home."
doing what you're supposed to do
Yeah.
this whole time.
And I was playing, and I was like, "Oh wow, this actually is really great for jazz. Like the voicings you can get for your chords, they're just really even, really easy on the hand to play now. Like, yeah, it really is satisfying."
Yeah, they're a very enjoyable guitar to play.
Fenders
Oh,
are in general,
yeah,
actually.
I
That's
always
their
think about that.
that's their biggest thing, you know.
The strats in the
And the
switch being at the bottom is the most annoying thing
in like
fucking
the
world.
spacing or something. I think it's got to be the spacing and how the string tension is on the frets, because
It just shouldn't be there.
A
Like the
Fender
Jazzmaster
plays like
that
butter
switches up
compared to,
top,
like,
you
a
can go
Les
back
Paul
and
or-
forth up top, and you have to do that intentionally. And so there's no like, oh, I accidentally flipped it from strumming.
Yeah, I've never spent enough time with a Strat to have any strong opinions of them, but
My entire first like doing anything. Well, yeah, Strats were like the easiest guitar you
Yeah.
can get a hold
a
of.
Squire Series Strat
Yeah,
is
the
often a
Squire
first
Series
is a
Strat is
first
almost
guitar for
everybody's
many.
first
yeah,
guitar.
well, though they sell those kits or like those packs where it's like you get that, you get the little amp, you
Yeah.
get the little Fender amp, and you get the like
The
grab
picks and then the
gig-
strings and a capo.
Yeah, that
all
gig
for
bag.
$200.
You know what though? As a starter pack, not a bad idea.
No,
I
it's
do not
not.
begrudge it, because you don't know if you're good, you fall in love with it, you'll buy a better guitar. Might
And
as well
the
learn on
amps
that.
are actually
Yeah.
really decent. They're
Yeah.
solid state, but they like really kick butt. The gain circuit that they have on there, they make sure that this is a good solid gain. It doesn't crap out. It's not weak on the low end or anything
Yeah.
like that.
No, those are great for recording too. Like any of those smaller amps are real. Like you can make things sound huge by doing like recording through a small amp in a small room, and then just
Yeah.
like it doesn't like when it translates to a radio or something. You don't know if it was recorded in a stadium or if it was recorded in your bathroom. You know?
Yeah,
Like,
because
it's
you
just-
can
as long as
create
it sounds
that
good,
gain
it sounds
breakup
good.
sooner, and it's not blowing everything out, so you don't have to worry about like blowing the actual volume to the mic into the board at all. So
Yeah.
you're like, it's only going to be this loud,
Well-
but you're going to get that tone a lot
Yeah.
faster.
What you're talking about, Houston, is kind of going back to the heyday of when they were recording and how they got reverb back in the day, which was to put an amp in a very strategically empty room that they've got somewhere and have, just pointed just so the signal bounces all around the room.
Oh yeah.
That's what like Abbey Road would do. That's how they would get reverb in the days before there was just a plug-in to give you
Before
reverb.
the AC-13.
Yeah.
No, and that's also some of those like awesome classic rock sound like Layla is like famously recorded through a champ. Like
Oh,
the
yeah.
lead
Right.
line, so it's just one of those things where it kind of has that mistake. Now you can't, like, you would be hard pressed to find one of those old champs for less than thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah,
but,
unfortunately.
but,
Which
you
is
know,
funny. I always
at the
think-
time they wasn't like this crazy, so you just have to find the new thing, that it's able to do that. That's affordable still, and it wasn't really the amp; it was who played the amps that
Yeah.
made them
Yeah.
popular.
I got to agree. We had a discussion earlier last week sometime about the John Mayer effect or the John Mayer delirium idea.
like the pedal
Well-
idea.
Well, like, because you see John Mayer, he has tons of videos all over the place. And you'll see him, at his own concert. And he has this special engineer who comes and, like, programs these rack mounts into his chain so that his guitar and everything sounds exactly the way it sounds on the album. And then you'll see him randomly get up at some friend's show at the House of Blues in Texas and get up there and rip, and it sounds exact. He's got a pedal train with like, a one-spot power going to it, like 3 pedals, and he still sounds that good.
Yeah.
And you don't understand why thousands of dollars,
that's kinda true.
$100, how does it still sound the same? And because it's the player.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
fucking
It's
equipment.
like the age-old debate. It's like, does tone come from your fingers,
It
or does
does.
it come from your gear?
It definitely does.
And it's like, I think fingers is a big, like your touch of stuff is huge. Yeah.
And guitar pedals are weird that way, just on their own. Any given guitar pedal, you could spend a lot of money on one and be very disappointed. You could go to the bar. I've never seen this thing. You go to a flea market, it's all beat up, and then you plug it in. You're like, this thing's the best thing I've ever fucking heard. I got it for $10 at a flea market. It's just so crazy. I don't know the value of these things.
Yeah. Well, I've had friends who could take things that were notoriously bad, like gear, and make them sound incredible. And then I've had friends who could have incredible gear and make them sound horrible. So it's
there
like,
you go. There.
You never
I explain
know.
that to some people too about like, I need this really good pedal. I was like, man, Kurt Cobain used an orange Behringer like that. That was his sound.
Yeah.
You could say all you want about it. You need this crazy distortion pedal, but that made records. That pedal and him made records. So I don't think it's the pedal, man.
Yeah,
Actually,
exactly.
one of a bargain basement is somewhere on this discussion. There's a weird bargain. That's an Andrew purchase.
Oh yeah, actually, I bought that from a guy who bought that.
We don't know what it is, but it works great for bass fuzz.
It's called Deadbeat. I bought it from my friend Brian Lee.
It's very gracious,
a band
though.
called
You're welcome, pedal.
Ghost Dance out in California. Shout out to Brian Lee. But I bought a couple of pedals off him, and one of them was this guy. I was looking for a distortion pedal, particularly something to use for like leads. And I got this guy, and it is like a metal pedal. It does it. Even the lowest setting is like low-grade metal.
Right. But here's the other thing is while it distorts the heck out of a guitar, it drops the volume and you can't make it up when the rest of the thing. So it actually just doesn't work for a guitar. Just flat out doesn't. But for some reason or other, the bass signal is enough that it does work.
It's able to push through.
Yeah,
it pushes through.
He
with
used
that,
it as basically a fuzz. We had a fuzz, and we weren't really satisfied with the fuzz sound that was coming out of it. And then we were like, well, fuck it, just try to use this pedal. I was going to sell it, and then he used it, and it was like, oh, shit, that's a great fuzz.
And actually, going back to our discussion earlier, why is it so awesome? Because it's really imperfect. It's got fucking weirdness, and it's touchy, but it's got cojones, in a big way, And it's like, I'll take that over
Shout out to
that's
Deadbeat, whoever you are. Thank you for making this pedal.
Yeah, no, it's how it's like why I have a really hard time getting rid of anything, and I have just like a closet full of
We
pedals
literally
and
we have a
like,
closet over here
exactly.
in our
and we're just like, someday I'll learn how to use you.
Yeah, exactly. You have all these weird things. You're like, man, I bought this, and there was a reason that I bought this, but one day I'll need it for a certain situation, and there's all these weird delay pedals, and all of them sound different from each other, and it's like, man, most of the time I don't need this sound, but the one time that I do, I'm going to be so thankful that I didn't sell this for $20.
Thank you.
And that's also why it's like I think the resale value on them isn't worth it anyway. Where it's like the one time that I'm going to use
unless
it is
you're
going
on
to be worth
Facebook
way more.
Marketplace.
Yeah, and then that's a whole nother thing of spending the time to do it. Where it's like, do I have the time to be on Facebook Marketplace or any of those things and deal with that and go meet people? And
I just feel that people are like, oh, I've had this for years. It's used, so I'm gonna knock $10 off it. Like, well, bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
It is used. I don't know anything else that's used like that. That's like, oh yeah, we're just gonna knock $10 and you can come have it.
Yeah, or you can just hope that someday some awesome guitarist or something will use a pedal that you have that everyone's like, oh, I need that sound, but they don't make them anymore, and it's all the same.
like your clone.
Oh yeah,
clone.
Clone.
Yeah, exactly.
I have a really great clone.
Yeah, and that's like the holy grail of pedals.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like,
the
that is
OG
the holy
clone,
grail.
yeah.
It is. I get more comments about that on the board because it's even set up like the original clone.
It looks like it, so people will walk up to it and be like, oh, and then be like,
They will
curb your
like-
enthusiasm, buddy.
I will
a
see
little bit.
people at shows come up and glance at the board, see it, and then wait close by when we're tearing down to be like, hey, this pedal right here.
Is that a
Tell me is that a real clone?
But it might as well.
I really used it.
The fucking thing of it is, it's like you didn't have to pay the Klon price, but it might as well.
God,
be.
No.
It might as well be. It's made out of the same circuit design.
Yeah.
So
same exact.
What does it matter that it's
even
not an
the
OG,
same, like,
right?
Germanium transistors.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
it is an honest recreation.
It is.
So I was just looking up all the stuff about Dumble amps, where it's
Oh, God.
you could you could never afford one of them, but there are like the exact same amps, basically, more or less, that are clones of them.
Just now, though, because Dumble was ruthless, and he would like black out the circuit boards, so you didn't know what kind of transistors or what kind of resistors.
Trade secrets, bro.
Yeah, seriously, he literally did. He would tune it all up, it'd all be working, everything cool. Come back tomorrow for it. Well, can't I take it today? No.
It's called redaction.
Yeah, he would go through and black everything out, so you couldn't just look at it and recreate.
This circuit board has been redacted.
That's probably why he only did everything solo. You know?
Yeah,
it's like
he
never got anyone else there. He's like, I'm going to make 2 amps a year, and that's it.
It wasn't until recently that they were able to take real Dumbles and then like pretty much hook up all this equipment to the damn thing and have people play through it. That they discovered, okay, now we know what kind of transistors.
Have a computer trace every circuit so they can reproduce it. Yeah.
Yeah, you hear that sound, like you hear someone play through one, and you're like, oh, I know that sound. Like that's on every album from all of time, basically, from the 70s on, where like every fantastic album has like something that has that
Pearl
sound.
Jam to Santana, man,
yeah,
like
Stevie Ray Vaughan, like Steely Dan, like all that. You're like, oh, that's that sound.
Yeah, that is
okay.
why that's. I would love to get even a Dumble clone.
Yeah, absolutely. What's the one, the like Wonderland one or something, the Wonderland special or something? It's like the Overdrive special clone, and just like, but that's still a $5,000 amp, but better than 200,000.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's a lot better than the $200,000 that one of them was going for.
Yeah.
It's like my cousin. He has this. They have car. You could do that with cars. So he has this. It's basically the car from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, right? It's that, but it's not the real one. No, they have these recreations that they make, and it's basically like a glorified, like almost golf cart kit of a car. It's hardly anything in there, but then they shape the body to look exactly like that. That's a Ferrari. I don't know, whatever.
California.
Yeah. Oh my God. Anyway, so you drive around town, and if that's what cause if you were to get on the highway, it's barely highway legal, by the way. If you would know in an instant. Oh, that's not even a real. That's barely a real car.
Yeah.
But when you're driving around town, everyone's like, "Oh, look at that thing! Look at that!" They can't tell. They don't know.
Yeah, they're doing that with Cobras for a long time. A little bit more where they had like the kit Cobras and stuff, but because the real ones are hard to come by. You know?
Yeah, they are.
But, so.
All right. Well, anyway, enough of this talk. Let's give us another music. Let's
Pure
get into
talk
it.
here in a kind of
Pure talk.
You got another song for us? Something weird,
yeah.
something groovy, something bluesy? What do you got? Oh, he's changing it. He's dropping that D.
Drop the D.
We're dropping the D here on Kind of Vague Records. On Kind of Vague Radio.
We don't have to philo this. That's what's nice.
All right, so here's more. I went more like rock and roll. There was like kind of separated out this album in a way where it was like 3 kind of rock and roll songs, 3 more kind of like acoustic singer-songwriter songs, and then 3 kind of like R&B soul songs. So, I don't know. It just kind of ended up that way. It wasn't really purposely. I didn't set out to do it that way, but that's kind of how it ended up.
Yeah, when you start taking inventory of the songs, you're like, I guess actually this will look.
Yeah, I was like,
right.
it kind of works out. That
Numbers
way.
work.
Yeah, exactly. So here's one of the more rock and roll songs. Never really believed in God till they walked in with a makeup on. Never thought I would sell my soul, but now I'm standing in the middle of the crossroads. I made mistakes, ever since I was born in a grave, 'cause never gonna make it to Weapons Gate. Let me travel the open range, 'cause Delta's waiting on my payday.
I would have to agree. That is rockin'.
Yeah, that's like the most rock and roll song I've written in a long, long time.
It was. I feel like that's something we should cover with Pine Tree. We could do that. That chord progression's right up our alley.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Be down to see if you do that. Let me know. Send me something.
Oh, absolutely. We're gonna send that to you.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, that one definitely has the rock and roll drums, and so that one kind of lent itself to having full band and stuff. So
yeah,
kind of needed it.
How do you do full band? What is that?
On recording?
Yeah, yeah. Do you have some buddies you call up? You do it all yourself?
I do everything myself.
Wow.
I play every instrument. I record everything. I mix everything, which is probably not the best thing to do. It's like probably not the best.
It worked
thing
for Prince.
Yeah.
It worked for Foo Fighters' first album.
Yeah.
It helps keep the sound consistent.
Yeah,
worked for Paul McCartney.
And then one thing is that I don't have the money to write songs in the studio.
Yeah, you have to be,
Yeah, so that's the one thing where it's like I have what you just heard when I go to record, and then I'm like, okay, what does this need? And it's like I don't really have the time to sit there and be like, so
figuring no.
Yeah, so it's like
you're
I
burning
kind of have
money
to do
when
it
you do
myself.
that. Yeah.
But I guess I could do demos and then figure it out and then go from there. But then I guess I'm just
which is actually
not trustworthy.
When we do studio recordings, a lot of the times what we'll do is we do the stuff that needs to be in there, like the drum tracks, like that drum kit, like that's really, and we'll obviously come back for the vocals, but for anything that we could pipe directly into a DAW, including some guitars, because amps will have output. Sometimes or you just mic the amp, either way.
Yeah.
And because what you want to do is spend a long time on that guitar solo, and you don't want to feel the pressure, the burning clock or whatever.
Yeah, and sometimes you can reamp stuff where you send it, like DI it, and then you send it back out through an amp and record that. So it's like you get it exactly how you want it to be and then reamp
Oh, yeah, to make it sound like you want it to sound. Yeah, we've done that in the
your online sims, too. You record whatever you can on your thing and then send it in the studio. They're like, oh, this got to beef up. Cool, let's send it into, a Dumble sounding amp.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's put it into something else.
Something crazy, like put it into a wall of Marshalls. And then,
It's easier than ever to make good sounding recordings. It's the bottom line.
And also, like, all the technology has gotten so crazy in the last little bit with amp sims and stuff, where it's like, there was not that long ago, like, it was... An amp sim was horrible. And now there's a lot of amp sims where you're like, oh, that's really good, actually.
For a long time, I rocked this Vox Veltronics down here.
Yeah, and that's like...
Well, we just used this the other day when Queso came over, Andrew.
Yeah, it's a great amp. And actually...
Sounded great. It sounded great.
It's a 100-watt amp, but the sims on it, it doesn't do a lot of crazy ones, but the ones that it does do, it sounds absolutely great. You can get an AC30 on there. You can get a nice... what do you call it? That Roland chorus,
and then they have ones called like British metal and something.
Yeah. The British metal is like what do you call a Marshall amp?
Is it? Yeah.
There's one that's like crazy, and it's a clone of a Dumble.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and it's not probably the best Dumble clone, but I used to
still.
use it when I was in the Blink-182 band.
Nice.
Like that was just a great gain channel. Like you can just
absolutely.
sit there and
just ride that for
yeah.
all night, and you're good.
Yeah,
You don't have to even like do
exactly.
much to it.
I don't
you
really
know?
got to do anything. Just blah, 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 maybe one pedal for a boost, and that's
Yeah,
all.
exactly. Just to cut through for like solos or
Yeah,
whatever.
that's
and that's
it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Not actually just guy I know down in San Marcos does just bought a pedal. It was like a Behringer amp sim pedal for $30, and it sounded great. Like it was so weird to see it and it had three or four different channels, and all of it was one was like a Fender. They all had different names because they had like copyright issues, but it was like one was like California, and it was like a Mesa Boogie. One was a Fender, one like a Twin, one was a Marshall, and then there was one other like just clean, like super clean amp, like to kind of go. So there was like two heavier, like distorted amps, two cleaner amps, but it sounded great for like a $30 pedal. It was pretty good.
That's not bad at all.
You know, to like if you don't know what you're doing with amp sims, because a lot of those amp sim pedals are, a $500 one's.
Oh yeah, and they're just modeling it digitally. So I just want to be clear because you have a gig tonight. I don't want to cause you to be late. You need to bail at like 4.
Yeah. What time is it?
It's like 3:30. So I'm just saying
Yeah,
we're
probably
entering our last.
Yeah, that's probably good. Yeah.
So here's what.
Let's get another song going then.
Well, okay, and
No?
we should just retire into the other room and have a little.
Oh, you want a powwow?
Yeah, but let's do one final song here. And
Okay. And you know which song I want.
No, is it the same one? Is it Shackles and Weights? Or were you going to say something else?
No.
I mean, it was the first one that we spun, and it still holds a near and dear place in my heart.
I agree.
And I still get a kick out of the fact that I really liked the song. And then
I want some whistle.
I need the first of all, yes, because there's whistling, and you're a great whistler, so it showcases that. And then the fact that this was about your newly adopted dog.
Yeah.
Now I can't. I hear the lyrics from that perspective all the time, and I think I get a kick out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. I'm glad you guys like that song.
When was the last time you played this song?
I don't know. Yesterday. No.
Oh, okay.
I play this song a fair amount.
Is it a fan favorite?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, clearly, we're asking for it, so it is a fan favorite.
Yeah, this is my most popular song.
I would have to agree. It's perfect.
But
it's
I appreciate
perfect.
it, I just hope I'm just glad anyone likes anything I do. And, that's all.
I like Midnight Debutante a lot.
Oh,
we spin that one just
I
in my.
I have days I wake up in that Midnight Debut. It's in my brain. I literally wake up and it's fucking in my brain. I'm just like, where did that come from?
I was just
I
teasing
wasn't
you at
even
night.
dreaming about it or anything. I just wake up and that line is in my head.
Oh, yeah, that's great. That's good to hear. I'm glad that. I feel like some of that stuff, like the muse, where it's like it just comes to you, you know, and that's like. Sometimes you wake up and something's in your head, and you're like, "Man, something's good about this." And I feel like that's kind of what happened with that song. So I'm glad that it's doing to you. Yeah.
Like it got stuck in my head more than once. I was randomly not even listening to your stuff, and it just comes in my head. That means it was a good song.
No, thank you. I really appreciate that. That's awesome. Cool. So yeah, I'll play this song for you guys. No, appreciate you guys having me on again. This is awesome. City lights didn't drown out the sky, and I'd be running with the wolves if the city life didn't drive off the pack at night. Lord, help my soul and tell me this. Where can I go? Please tell me this. Well, I've been running away to find a place to call my home. Running away to find a place place to call my own. Running away to find a place to call my home. Running away to find a place to call my own. No, no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Well, I'd be flying away if my heart didn't weigh enough to keep me down. And I'd be climbing so high if I just had the time, but I'm growing older still. If only they'd smile down on me. They'd really give you room to breathe. Lord, help me, please, and tell me this: where can I go? Please tell me this. Well, I've been running away to find a place to call my home. I've been running away to find a place to call my home. I've been running away to find a place to call my home. I've been running away to find a place to call my own. No, no. Lord, help my soul.
Hell
All right.
Fucking A.
Oh, man.
Huston Sonhouse. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you guys. This was awesome. I appreciate you guys having me on.